Wouldn't it be amazing if we could look into a crystal ball and see the future of our relationship and see how things turn out? Imagine you could use it to see if you end up together and live happily ever after, or maybe you find out that your relationship falls apart because of cheating. But if you knew in advance, then you could take action proactively to change the outcome and save the relationship before anything happens. Well, I can't give you a crystal ball, but I can give you the signs, the clues, the suspicious behaviors that all men do before they cheat on you. And trust me, there are always early warning signs in advance. We just miss them if we're not looking for them. So stay right here, because if you're seeing these signs, you can still take action to save your relationship before it's too late. So without further ado, here are the signs to look for. Number 7. He has cheated before. As simple as it sounds, past behaviors are the best predictor of future behaviors. History often repeats itself, so you need to know your partner's past. However, just because a person cheated in the past does not guarantee that they will cheat in your relationship. After all, people learn from their mistakes and experience personal growth. And when they do, they're very open to sharing their lessons. So ask him questions about his past relationships and why the relationships ended. And don't skip questions about infidelity or cheating or their opinions on what it is. Now, if he admits to have cheated in the past and talks about the lessons he learned and how he's changed, that's good. However, if your partner responds to your questions with a cavalier attitude, make a mental note of this red flag and further explore this topic later. Remember, those who fail to learn from mistakes of the past usually repeat them. Now, as we talk about each of these signs, we need to especially consider them when they represent a significant change in his behavior and priorities. That's because there's often an inspiration or an incentive, like wanting to be more attractive to others, that's motivating this change in the first place. For example, number 6, he's suddenly very concerned about his appearance, or he decides to make a sudden change in his appearance. If he usually doesn't really care about his appearance or what his hair looks like, and now he becomes extremely interested in or even obsessed with his appearance, such as dyeing his hair or getting spray tans and whitening his teeth, he may be trying to impress someone other than you. Or perhaps he becomes obsessed with getting a new wardrobe, especially if he recently started to become concerned about wearing nice socks and underwear. Or another big one, he becomes obsessed with getting into great shape. So he joins a gym even though he never used to work out. And he's not doing this because his doctor told him that he needed to lose 15 or 20 pounds because he's unhealthy. No, he's doing these things because it's suddenly important for him to have a six-pack and to look great and to get more attention. When this behavior is a significant change from prior behavior, it may be motivated by a new need for attention. Number 5, there are changes or increases in his social media activity. If you start to notice your man posting thirsty photos of himself on social media, it may be time to question what's going on, especially if his new photos and status updates no longer include you. This becomes increasingly concerning when he no longer tags you in photos together. So if he hasn't included you in any updates in a long while, maybe he wants to make it appear that he is now single. Also, pay attention to whom he's interacting with online. For example, if he's liking a lot of sexy photos or commenting on lots of new attractive women, it may be a sign that he's not as committed or satisfied with the relationship as you thought. Number 4, he safeguards or hides his cell phone. In a relationship, being open and honest about everything is important. But when a guy has something to hide, one of the first things he'll begin to do is keep his cell phone private. So pay attention to what he does with his phone when he's with you. Does he leave the ringer and notifications off? Does he keep the phone face down on the counter when you're hanging out? Does he always take his phone to the bathroom and seem to be gone for an unusually long time? These are all possible signs that he's trying to keep his communications private and doesn't want you to know about them. This doesn't mean that he's cheating, but maybe he's flirting or inappropriately communicating with someone and he knows that it would upset you. Oh, and here's another big one. He never shows you pictures or videos on his own phone. That's because he's worried about the texts that might come through while you're looking at the screen. It's subtle, but when you're hiding something, you're certainly worried that a provoking text message might give you away. Number 3, you aren't invited to work or other social events anymore. In the past, he always invited you to hang out with him and his coworkers after work. And he would invite you to all the work events and office parties that included spouses. Now, he doesn't invite you or include you. And when you ask him about it, he makes some flimsy excuse and says that you'd get bored or he really needs to spend time with one of his bosses. If this is happening, you have to wonder, is he hiding someone from you or is he hiding you from someone? Does he want to spend that extra after work time flirting with a coworker that he's getting closer to? Okay, the last two signs are also the most important ones, but I want to caution you to be careful with them because it's never a good idea to jump to conclusions too soon. You certainly don't want to accuse your partner of cheating or wanting to cheat without being absolutely sure. Just keep your eyes open because if he's cheating or if he wants to cheat, more signs will pop up and you will find out. That's for sure. So just keep your eyes open and be patient. Also, with this video, I'm giving away 2 more free coaching sessions with me. So if you're interested in a chance to win, just make sure that you're subscribed, like the video, and then leave a comment letting me know that you're interested in winning a session. I'll pick a random number and the message that corresponds with that number will be the winner. Last week, Maria was the 49th message and she was the winner. Okay, on to number 2. Number 2, he keeps accusing you of cheating. He is constantly accusing you of texting other people or flirting with other men behind his back, even though you've never done anything like that. If he's accusing you of these things without a real reason, then he may be projecting his own guilt onto you. Now, it doesn't mean that he's cheating, it simply means that he is capable of cheating or he has thought about cheating on you. And because he has, he assumes it's just as natural or easy for you to cheat or want to as it is for him. In other words, he's assuming that you're capable of being just as disloyal as he is. So yeah, if he's constantly assuming that you're cheating or wanting to, it's because his head is right there, capable of thinking about or doing what he accuses you of doing. Number 1, your intuition tells you that something isn't right. If deep down you feel like something isn't right with this person, you're probably correct and you're noticing it for a reason. You see, your intuition often picks up on small clues that you might consciously miss. There may not be anything significant that has changed that you can rationally analyze, but you're aware that things aren't the same as they used to be and you're curious as to why. Most important, do not let an openness to intuition turn into insecurity. Being completely honest with yourself is essential. If you've had trust issues before and really can't rely on your gut instinct, at the very least, use this as a starting point to look for the other 6 signs that I've just mentioned. Trust issues are not something to be ashamed of, but something that you should be working on. You understand your lover better than anyone else, and there is a reason that you're feeling the way that you're feeling. It's possible that he's not cheating, but you should investigate to find out what's going on. Don't make assumptions. Instead, be mindful and begin to ask questions. And let me state unequivocally that just because your partner exhibits a few of these traits that I've described, it does not mean that he's definitely cheating or planning on it. It's possible that these are simply warning signs that your relationship is about to hit a rough patch. However, if you've recently noticed several of these symptoms in your partner and you're concerned that things aren't going well in your relationship, I urge you to take action now before things become worse. Have a heart-to-heart conversation with him and find out what's going on. Because if you don't, it will only get worse. Now, if you're interested in more signs that a person is just not into you, check out this video here, or click here to see the video that YouTube thinks that you'll like. I'll see you in the next video.